for things, to get things. So, they brought me up to work for money, basically,
Yes,
and that's
yes.
what a lot of parents do initially. They teach the children to, that to get things, you need to work for them, which is true.
Mm,
But there's different types of work, and I only realised that when
yeah.
I was in my late 50s. So it took me from
Oh.
being a child to realise that. I was like a lot of people out there. Like I said, my mum and dad wanted me to go out, and so they encouraged me. And I wanted to go out and work. And at 14, I was stacking shelves in the supermarket.
Mm,
Um, and then 16, I left school. I didn't go on to any higher education. I couldn't wait to leave school, to be perfectly honest. Although I love learning, I didn't particularly like the school environment. So
yes.
went into a job um, in the tax office, which I absolutely hated back in there. I really felt like that. And it was always a temporary measure because I'd always wanted as a child to be a nurse. I wanted to
Oh.
go nursing. So I did, and I went doing my training. I completed a couple of years of my training. And then I'm not going to say unfortunately because but I did end up having to leave because I was having my son. So I was a young mum. I was 19 when I had my son. And
Okay.
I just felt at that time that although I loved the nursing profession at that time, that it
Mm,
was something I felt I could give 100% to while I had a small child to
mm.
look after as well. So um, all good things come from bad things.
From
And
bad things.
I got my son. And funnily enough, he's an only child as well. you
Oh
know. So
gosh.
yeah, so there's only one of us as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love it. I love when you mentioned, you were the only child. That was, I think, naturally we would feel, oh, if you're the only child, then you must be very spoiled as
Yeah.
hell, right? Uh,
Yeah.
but I love it because that's very humbling, to
Yeah.
know that you think of it that way. You
Yeah.
still, your parents still had to teach you that you need to learn the value of things. And I know that with other people, like especially business people, billionaires, millionaires, they
Mm.
still teach their children, even though they grew up with a silver spoon and all that, but they
Yeah.
still teach them how to. So I'm that's really humbling, a very humbling background. And you mentioned you left school at the age 16.
Yeah. I
Wow.
left it. Yeah,
Oh my
because in
gosh.
those days, many
Yeah.
years ago,
Yes, yes.
we didn't have to go on to higher education. But
Okay.
the strange thing is, although I wasn't happy with the background, the educational background,
Yeah.
I still love learning. And
Yes.
I always say you're never too late to learn and be educated.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
my main priority was bringing up my son, and it was only when I was 40
Mm.
that I actually decided that I would go and do a degree. And that's
Oh,
what I did. So when people say to me, oh, I'm too old for that, or it's too late to do that,
yeah.
I say,
Mm.
no, it's not.
Oh, yes.
Anybody can take on education. It doesn't matter
Yes.
how old you are. you know
Absolutely.
you can
Yes.
still learn things, and we're learning things as we know
Yes, that's
every
true.
single day.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
um, I was always interested in the brain. Obviously, probably from my nursing days, but I was always interested in the brain, not only the physical structure, but also about how we think.
Mm.
How the brain and our mind and our
Yeah.
subconscious
Mm.
works. And so much so is about 5 years ago, probably a bit longer actually, it's probably about 7 or 8 years ago, I actually
Mm.
did a 12-month course on hypnotherapy, because
Oh,
again, that could help people, and that can
mm,
help
yes.
people, who
Yeah.
may be facing certain challenges. So it's
Yeah.
always been a fascination of mine, you know.
Oh,
But
nice.
the strange thing is, although it was always sort of the caring, uh, that type of work I wanted to go in, I ended up by default Again, after I'd had my son, I needed to work, and I ended up working for a financial services company. And I worked for them for 19 years, and I was on the clerical staff doing the clerical side of it, which suited what was then a very, very male dominated industry.
Right.
Because going back to the 70s, late 70s,
Mm.
it was an area that there wasn't many women in.
Right.
Women
Yes.
were
Mm.
doing the administration, and the men were out doing the financial advising. And
Right.
after 19 years of working with that same company, I thought to myself, do you know what? I can do this. I want to be a financial advisor, because I
Yeah.
knew I
Yeah.
could do it. And, but one of the things was the company that I worked with were very old fashioned, although they were a big company here in the UK, they were
Mm.
very old fashioned. And they sort of said to me, we would be taking a big risk by
Right.
employing you as a financial advisor. I said, well, why is that? Because I'm the one who's training up. At that time, I was
Mhm.
the one training up the financial advisors, and I felt it was something I could do. And they
Wow.
said, no, no, can't do it, because there's a sniper out there, and they're just looking for us to put our head above that precipice. And if we do, we'll
Mm.
get shot. By taking you on, we'll get shot. So I said, well, thank you very much. I've been with you for 19 years. If you won't let me be a financial advisor, I'll go and find another company who will. And I actually
Oh,
left.
wow.
And I was fortunate enough to join another company who didn't think like they did. And I ended up becoming a financial advisor. And I thoroughly enjoyed that job for a
Mm.
period of time.
Mm.
Um, one of the probably the harshest things that I've probably experienced being employed, because at that time I was still employed, was
Yes.
that I remember one morning waking up, and I thought, right, I'll just put the news on before I go to work.
Mm-mm.
Popped the news on, and the news came up that the company that I was working with
Mm-hmm.
were making us all redundant. And we hadn't even been told. We had to see it on the news, on the television.
Oh
So the whole
my.
sales force was made redundant. And at that time, I thought to myself, can I trust being employed? And
Mm.
deep down, I was probably always a person who wanted to become self-employed.
Mm, mm, mm.
I continued my financial journey being self-employed, worked for a few different companies, and then I decided to open up my own mortgage company, because I'd sort of fell out of love with the financial services industry a little bit,
Yes.
because I could see people losing money,
Yeah.
see that fund managers were making the wrong decisions for people, and
Yes.
charging people too much. So I thought, well, I love helping people. I'll set up a mortgage company, which I did in 2007. Now, if anybody knows the financial markets, they'll understand that in 2008, the mortgage crashed. The
Crashed.
mortgage world crashed.
Yes.
So from waking up one morning with a board full of mortgages, the following morning, I got up and we couldn't even get anyone a mortgage. So that was a bit of a rocky ride,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but I
Mm.
plodded along. But I was getting into more debt. So I thought, this isn't right, because I was
Mm.
having to get into debt to make sure that my employees were being paid. You
Mm.
know, I
Mm.
wasn't getting paid at the time, but I wanted to ensure they were.
Yes.
So I probably kept it far too long. I should have moved on, but we learned valuable lessons from the
Mm.
mistakes we make.
Yes, absolutely.
Um, and I did carry on that business for a short amount of time, but it wasn't the right thing to do. I ended up finishing my company, ended up
Yes.
going working for somebody else again, not
Yeah.
employed, but on a self-employed basis.
Right.
But really, being self-employed can be like being employed.
Yeah. Mm.
You're
Yeah.
still
You
giving
still
your
have responsibility and accountable for
you
everything.
are,
Yeah.
and you're still giving your time for money.
Time.
You're
Absolutely.
still doing
Mm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was something that I was sort of having to think seriously about, because I'd gone back being employed. But you know, life throws us, as I
Yeah,
say,
to the
little
curb.
bumps in the road, little curveballs
Yeah.
along the
Yeah.
way. And after coming out of a relationship,
Yeah.
and living with an alcoholic was not fun, I can assure you of that. You
Mm.
know,
Oh yeah.
so,
Yeah.
you know, so coming out of a relationship, I decided enough was enough. And then I met my current husband, um, and we'd only been married 2 years when another bump in the road came along, and he was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh.
Fortunately, he's okay,
Oh,
which
he's
is
okay.
great, you know,
Okay.
fortunately. But at that time it was a case of, look, I can't give my energies to work, and I needed to be with him so
Yeah.
we could work through it. But I always wanted to do something,
Mm. Yeah.
you know.
Oh my
I didn't
gosh.
want to just stay doing nothing, you know.
Yes. Yes.
And that's hence where my journey of working online came in.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah, you have such a unique story. I love it. I love hearing your oh, those are all like you should, I love how you that woman, that power in you when you know, especially with your when you're working in corporate and you stand up to those, you know, superior men back in the days.
Mm,
And I'm well
yeah,
aware of that, you know, trait back in history. No fun, but you know, it takes
mm,
courage. It takes strong women to really lead the way and say enough is enough. I also
yeah.
love that you have the desire to help people with nursing.
Mm,
You know, my older sister, she's a nurse, and
mm,
I love it that she's, oh, you know, that's one of the things that my older sister says, I love serving people, I love helping people. And I think that's one of the reasons why she got into nursing. So I
yeah.
love that. And I also love how you mentioned that you know, it's never too old to study, to go back to school, to learn something new. And you remind
Mm,
me of my mom, because when I was in university, when I got literally fresh out of uni,
mm,
my mom, I heard my mom wanting to go into school. Like she started from the bottom again, because
yeah,
my mom didn't finish her school back in the days,
yeah.
because she got pregnant. And so
It was the thing then in
so
them
yeah.
days.
And she decided to go back to school all the
Mm,
way to her bachelor's, you know, and she's now, you know, a really, really great teacher in sign language in special needs education. And so, you
wow.
know, when you're mentioning that, it really reminds me that age is just a number. And I love it that, you know, learning is a continuous thing. And anybody, regardless of what age you are, you know, you can do massive and great things. And look at you, Gail. I'm so speechless at times. Like when I was like, oh my gosh, she's really into trading. She knows how to go around these things. And you know, and
Mm,
looking at the younger generation, the young people, they, you know, they're like, okay, we need to know all of this. But you know, what
yeah,
you're doing, you're providing massive value to our community. So well
yeah,
done, Gail, for that. And I love your story. Oh, and hope all the best with, you know, with your husband.
yeah.
Now we know. See, these are the things that we do not know.
No,
You're
no,
doing all of this, you know, online, and we don't even know that you know you're going through that
yeah,
transition. You know,
that's
oh
it.
man.
Yeah.
Uh,
You know, people could say, well, that must have been a terrible time in your life. And I
mm,
look at it differently. I think, well, actually, it
yes.
was probably a really, I know it sounds bizarre, but a really
Yeah.
good time in my life. It was
Yeah.
right. Things happened for a
Yes.
reason, you know,
Yeah.
and the reason was I was destined to do something else. You
Yes.
know,
That's
he's
right.
okay, which is
Mm,
great, and I was
mm.
just destined to move
Yes.
on to something
To
else.
continue,
Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah,
keep your mind busy. And I
yes.
love it. I love that spirit. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's why I had to do it. You know, I'm
Mm,
not a person who can sit watching the TV.
yes.
Daytime TV does not appeal to me
Yes.
at all, you know, and I'm getting to an age now where I could retire, but I
Yeah.
choose not to. I don't want to
Yeah.
retire yet. I feel as
Yeah.
though I've still got things to give to people,
That's
to help
right.
other people,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, that's
and
massive.
especially younger people, you know,
Yeah.
they just don't know it yet. A lot of younger people have not just, especially here in the UK, because I can't
Mm,
speak for other countries, but here in the UK, a lot of the younger generation, they go to school and are taught education to have a job, like I
mm.
was. And there's nothing
Yes.
wrong with that, because that's how it used to be. But
Mm,
we're living in a very, very different world today.
Mm.
and the jobs are not out there like they used to be
Yeah.
for employed
Not really
people.
secure.
No, it's nothing secure,
Yeah.
and how better that we have something that can help those young people
Hmm.
and give them something to aim for the future as well.
That's right.
So I love the idea,
Yeah. Mm.
and hope that we can get to more. In fact, it's not a hope, we will get to more younger people.
Oh, yeah.
It's just that they haven't realized it yet, but we will
Yeah.
get to them,
Oh, yeah, we
to
will.
educate them and to,
Yeah.
because they're not taught financial education in school,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I wasn't either.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I keep on
Mm,
saying that every time I present, average presentation. I always mention, I wish I learned this in school because, I was only taught to get a good job. I
mm,
mean, get good grades at school so that you can get a good job.
yes,
That was
yeah,
it.
yeah,
But never really preparing us for the future to go out
mm,
there in the real world.
yeah,
And that really, really caused a lot of people to go into debt because they have no idea what a budget is. They have no idea what a
no,
financial plan is, and so much more,
yeah,
or whatever, investing, managing your money, blah blah blah. So
yeah,
it's what we're giving to the world is something so unique, and I love our mission behind everything.
mm,
Now, can you share some aha moments and also some
yeah,
life changing? I know you mentioned some bit in your
yeah,
story, but you just
mm.
share your aha moments and some life changing decisions that you made that really changed your life. I know there's a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I think I've already touched on a couple, but I will highlight them because one
Yes.
of the main ones that I think was life-changing for me was the
Mm.
decision to go from being employed to
Yes.
self-employed, taking that step, because when you're employed, you feel you've got more security, but in
Yes.
reality, have you? Days gone
Mm.
by, yes, you may have had more security, but
Mm.
anyone can wake up, and especially in the world that we're living in now, and not
Mm.
have a job in the morning.
That's right.
Okay. So
Mm.
sometimes we have to take, and I'm talking about, yes, okay, there's the self-employed route, but you can actually still be like a bit like an employee
Yes.
when
Mm.
you're self-employed. So I think the moment that probably changed everything for me when I think about it was the fact that, my husband did have cancer, and that I did have to look for something else.
Mm.
You know
Mm.
what I mean? And I think that was probably the thing, because when I started looking online, I'm thinking, well, everybody's talking about things online, and a couple of friends of mine sort of said, oh, you can do things online, but I didn't know how to get started.
Started.
Okay. I didn't know how to do, I could use a computer, but I wasn't particularly computer literate. The
Yes.
thought of going on even though I was a financial advisor and could sit in front of people
Yeah.
one to one, the thoughts of doing something like this on a Zoom meeting, I was horrified. I was like, oh, there's no way I can do that. And
Yeah.
I'd watch videos of people and go, I can't do that. And I was
Yeah.
convincing myself I couldn't do it, and in reality, that was probably one of the things that gave me the confidence, because as I was looking online, I was watching other people's videos, and then I started to think, well, I could do things like that. I could do that. And
Yeah.
I'm very, very grateful to a lot of people who helped me online, because
Mm.
I couldn't have probably done it myself. I needed some guidance. I needed
Yes.
somebody to help me with it.
Yeah.
But that did change my life. And certainly back in 2018, when I was introduced to Everich, that is probably the biggest turning point.
Mm.
Because it's funny, because I was sat there the other day and I was having a Zoom with a trust specialist, right? And who, for protection of assets and things like that.
Right.
And I'm thinking, who would have believed it? 2 years ago, I was walking around literally with pennies in my purse. So, from being a successful financial advisor
Mm.
years before, I was walking with literally pennies in my purse, not knowing when we was able to go to the
Yes.
shops again.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So, and it was then that I thought to myself, I can't believe that something from 2 years ago that was just something, I was doing something online that somebody had introduced to me. I couldn't believe that now I was sat looking and wondering how I'm going to protect my assets, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that I'm just a normal person, I've come from a normal background,
Yes.
I've not come from anything special. Yes, I did well in financial services because I worked hard,
Yeah.
not because I was particularly high up intelligence wise or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Mm.
It was through hard work and
Yes. Mm.
determination.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, I think that probably the best moment was probably going looking because I learned so much online.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
amazing. And I know
yeah.
there's a lot of people, like people watching us, or, stumble on our live and then watch the replay.
Mm,
Decisions, it's all about decisions. And when you come to that point in your life that enough is enough, like,
mm,
um, a lot of people, they're working 9 to 5 every day, right?
yeah,
And I
yeah,
tell you, our jobs right now are totally not secure, and you can be replaced at an instant.
yeah,
If one mistake and you don't keep the company policy or whatever went down, you can be replaced instantly. It's not like, you hold something valuable to the company. No.
no,
And that's why it's so important for you out, if you're, that person that's not passionate in what you're doing in your job. Because some people, they go to nine to five job, but they're not passionate in doing it. They're just
mm,
going for the sake of the money, of earning money so that they can put food on the table. But
yeah,
really do something that excites you. Do something that that makes you want to wake up every morning and do it, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
so I love it that, that's one of the life-changing decisions, when you recognize it and then act on it.
yeah,
Because, if you recognize it and you don't act on it, it's going to hold you and drag you back, from living your full life, your potential, right?
yeah.
I love that. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that. So what are your hobbies or things that you love doing when you have free time on your hands?
Um, did somebody say free time?
Free time. I know.
Did
I
somebody
didn't
mention
scratch that, but
free
I was.
time? It's a good job. I love doing what I'm doing. That's my
I
hobby.
know you don't have free time, but I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you what my hobbies are, and I love doing. Well, number one, I love spending time with my grandchildren, and they're getting a bit older now, and
Mm,
they're going off doing their own things. But whenever I can grab some time with them,
yeah.
I love to do that. I've got a granddaughter; she's was 12 last week, and I've got a grandson
Yes, I saw the photos.
who's
Beautiful
15
photos.
coming on 16, and he is amazing. And I just have to share a little story
Mm.
about the younger generation of my grandson, who I'm super proud of my granddaughter, but in particular my grandson, because um, he's picked up on this financial. What he always asks me,
Oh.
what are you doing? He's always interested. What is it you're doing? So he's got an interest in the crypto world now,
Mm.
and he
That,
totally gets
oh,
it.
love it.
The youngsters will totally get it because
Yes.
talking about technology, and that's what
Yeah.
they've been brought up with. And
Yeah.
then obviously he's got an account as well. He's a
Nice.
member as well. And it was just funny because we was talking the other day, and he's going, Nana, he says, have you seen that Doge? He says, this was going back a few weeks. I said, you need to get some of them. I've been following that. I said, oh, right, okay, I'll look at that. He says, and also he said, I've been looking at some stocks and shares and stuff. And at 15, he's now
Oh,
showing an interest in things like that. And I said to him, I said, what is it you want to do? Because he is a really clever lad. And I said,
wow.
you going to go to uni or something? He went, no, I'm not going to university. He said,
Smart choice.
yeah, he said, I'm not going to university. He said, but he said, well, I am going to be a stockbroker. I'm going to be a stock. So he's made his mind up now. So he's going to go somewhere down the line and
Yes.
the ability
Mm.
to do it. And I was really proud of him because I thought, and I said to him, well, you don't have to go to university if you don't want to. You
Yeah.
can if you want to, but you've got to remember that you still got to learn something. You're going to have something.
Yes.
Fortunately, he's a really good. We have over in the UK, we have what we call rugby league,
Yeah.
and he wants to be a professional rugby league player. And he will be a rugby, because
Yeah.
he's got that mentality,
Yes.
he's got the skill and he's got the
Yeah.
mentality.
I love
So
it.
yeah, so
Oh,
they're my, I would say really that oh, and my lovely little dog. I have a lovely little Boston Terrier, who is like my baby. So if
yes.
anybody sees me on Facebook, they'll probably see pictures of him now and again. Now and again.
Oh, I love it. We share the same love of
Yeah,
dogs. Oh
yeah.
my gosh, I have 11 huskies.
Oh wow,
I know
11.
six puppies and five big ones.
Oh
So, oh my gosh, they just drive me crazy every day. They keep me on my toes. And I think that's one of the things that keeps me occupied every day.
yeah,
Yeah, but I sense how proud you are with your grandson. And
yeah,
I tell you, he's definitely got your genes and that, you know, drive. And I
yeah.
love it because I tell you, if that was me, in his shoes, I will. I'm gonna say no to university, like
Yeah,
none of it, because
yeah,
I can self-taught myself, and now I realize I know what to do in order to, you know, get my financial education and know exactly how to put it into good use, right?
exactly.
So, oh man, if only I knew this. If only I knew this. But hey,
Yeah.
the most important is that we're in it right now, and
Mm.
so I love it. I love how I saw
And he
both of
actually
your.
goes in and looks at the education that we offer as well, which is pretty cool.
Yes,
He's actually
exactly.
following.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
he is. He's really interested in it.
Oh man, see
Yeah.
those are,
So,
yeah.
so for young people out there, anybody who's young
Yes.
who's listening to this,
Mm,
it's something different, and it's a
yeah.
way that
Mm,
can change your lives for the
yeah.
better.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that people shouldn't go for education. I am, but
Yeah.
just look at other things as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. And knowing, you know, especially with the trends in the world today, we need to
mm,
be, you know, at the forefront of, you know, every development, every century and era comes with its own, you know, changes,
yeah,
right?
yeah, definitely,
Yeah, that's great.
definitely.
Awesome. Awesome. I also love the photos of your granddaughter's birthday that you posted, I think last week. Oh, that was,
I made that. I made that cake. Me and my
oh,
husband
I
made that
know. I
cake.
was like, wow, she
Yeah,
really did,
I'm,
eh?
I'm not into making. Well, I like making cakes, as you can see. I probably like eating them as well. Don't we all?
Yeah, yeah.
Now and again. But we'd never decorated a cake.
Yeah,
So
right,
me and
right.
my husband said, right, I've got a few hours off. I said, we'll do. I said, no, you can ice it because I've not got the patience to ice it, and I'll
Right.
decorate it. So we made it between us.
Oh, that's really nice. Okay, so tell us your story and your journey with Everidge. What has Everidge offer you that separates you from all other ventures you did in the past? How did
Okay.
you come about? How did you find out about Everidge and this
Yeah,
opportunity?
and I'm loving. I can't wait to tell you this story, because. But if I cry, then please
Don't
forgive me,
worry,
because
don't worry.
I can get a bit emotional about it.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, myself. I've been in lots of different online opportunities.
Right.
Okay, and I always say to people, I wish I could show you my spreadsheet on my computer, because it would be hundreds of feet long. And
Right.
the interesting thing was, when I was at I was listening to the online GoPro this year, and
Yes.
people are coming on, and I'm looking which companies that they're with, because they don't always say, they're not allowed
Yeah.
to,
Mm.
and I'm looking at the companies and I'm thinking, I've been in that company, I did that. Oh yes, I did that. Oh yeah, Arbon, the makeup. Oh yes, yes. Oh yeah, oh yes, utility wear. Oh, and I was going through all these companies that I had
Yes.
tried and attempted to do
Mm.
online.
Right.
Okay, nothing was really a good fit for me. I
Mm.
love I love MLM. I love the idea of MLM,
Yeah.
but I was absolutely hopeless.
Yeah.
I was the product of the product. I'd take the products, I'd
Mm.
wear the products, but
Mm.
I had two customers, and those two customers, was one was my mom and one was my best friend. So, they weren't really paying me an ink. In fact, I was spending more than I was earning,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, God, I'm shipping in these products every month, and I've not even got a customer properly. So it was
Oh, that's
quite
funny.
but it was good. It was a good experience, because I met some absolutely amazing people on that journey.
Mm.
I learned so much, because I made so many mistakes online it was unbelievable. If you'd
Yeah.
have looked at my Facebook page, you could have not, it was like one thing after another. So that
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
oh, we're on to the next one. Any
Yeah.
shiny new object, Gail was
Yeah.
into it.
Mm.
And it was at that time, when I met Andrew Twelvetree, and myself and
Oh,
Andrew had been in a project online together,
yes.
which failed. Woke up one morning and all your money's gone, one of them. So we've been in one of those projects as well.
Yeah.
And, I was busy doing my thing. Andrew was busy doing his. And now and again, we'd keep in touch. And then he got in touch with me, said, Gail, he says, I've come across something. He said, I think you may be interested in. He said, will you have a look at it? I said, oh, what now? Because
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
thing was I was doing so many
Yeah.
things, losing
Yeah.
money. I thought, well,
Yeah.
what now am I going to lose money in?
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, which I
Yeah.
didn't have. I didn't
Yeah.
have the money
Yeah.
then. So he
Right.
said to me, just come and have a look. And he started talking about a bit about the education. And then he was talking about high-speed trains, overhead high-speed trains, something called Skyway, and, how it was going to, help the environment. And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
wow, this sounds a bit weird. I
Yeah.
honestly didn't. I honestly can honestly say when I first heard about it, probably because my passion isn't technology, I
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
see the vision.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Mm.
So I said, and this is where the know, like, and trust comes in,
Yeah.
because only because I knew, know, like, and trust Andrew did I actually purchase a package. Okay.
Oh, right.
Then he said to me, well, you've purchased this education package, blah, blah, blah. Now you've got these shares into Skyway, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Oh, I said, oh, that sounds okay. And off I
Yeah. Yeah.
went
Yeah. Yeah.
doing my other things. In fact, I was that broke at the time. I couldn't even pay for it all at once. I was paying for it monthly because I thought, well, I'm probably going to make enough just doing bits and bobs and I'll pay for it monthly. And obviously Andrew kept getting in touch with me and trying to pull me back in, and I was too busy going, no, I'm happy doing this, losing money. I'm happy losing money.
It's like a competition, a rope competition.
Yeah. So he then said to me one day, and it would probably be early March 2019, he said, Gail, will you just come on a Zoom with me? And he kept asking me, and I kept saying, oh, I will do, Andrew, but I'm busy doing nothing, but I'm busy. So he says to me, he said, just come on this Zoom with me. So I did. I went on the Zoom with him. Now, the last I'd seen of Andrew properly was 12 months earlier. Okay. And Andrew at that time was just like me, absolutely. The pair of us were just stony broke, and there's a saying, and pardon my French, but on the bones of your ass, and the pair of us were. Okay, so I'd seen Andrew. In fact, Andrew actually recruited me, sat on a box in a friend's yard, like a business yard, and was using his internet to be able to do it. And his laptop was balanced because he was in the process of moving from Australia to go and live in the Philippines.
Right.
Yeah. So I think it was about 10 days. And he himself at that time, I remember we were having this conversation, and he'd no money either, So basically, when he asked me again to take a look at it, I did. And he started talking about how he was building this business, and then he showed me the global portfolio, because it was at the time when the crew was being created.
Right. Yes.
So I thought, Then I started getting interested, and especially when I heard how many different asset classes that we were going to be covering. Because of my financial background, I knew something like this out there in the world, right? More importantly, what excited me the most was I also knew that to be involved with anything like that, you would have to be what we call a high net worth client and have a lot of money and prove you had a lot of money, especially here in the UK, regulator and that. And also to be able to afford it, because if it was going to be 10, 20, 30,000, most people haven't got that money. So I love the idea that normal everyday people could be a part
Yes.
of it.
Yeah.
At the same time, you know, the main thing that was happening is they were being financially educated. Okay, so
Absolutely.
at the time, you know, we came in with the financial education, and then we were gifted
Yes.
these points, crew
Points,
points, as
cruise.
we call them, with the promise that if we ever went to an STO or an IPO, that we would be able to convert them to on a one-to-one basis for a
Mm.
fee. So I love that idea. I love
Yeah.
the idea.
Yes.
Um, and you know, when you come into something, and at that time, even in February, March time 2019, I was still pretty much broke. And I
Yeah.
said at the time, I'd met another gentleman who's now my business partner, and he works on another project. But I said to him at the time, I said, you know what? I said, we need to get into this, but neither of us could really afford it. And we
Yeah.
decided that was when we decided to join forces. So we
Okay.
joined forces, and
Right.
both of us decided that this was something we wanted to work on, and
Mm.
this was what we wanted to build, because it was a matter of we needed to.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm.
so we were hungry,
Yeah.
we were willing, and we were
Hungry.
coachable. You know,
Yes.
we were at that time, it was the right time for us to
Mhm.
build a business, which we loved the idea, but at the same time, we could help people as well.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
I think we got to vice president in something like, we started end of March, and we was end of September, in time
Mm.
to go to India.
Yes.
We'd got to the vice president stage, so it can be done. You know, you can
Yeah.
go pretty quick.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Oh, wow. Oh man, I love it when I hear, look at you, look, you're out there in our community adding more value, and and it's amazing how, Andrew Church, like, is persistent, trying to get you
Yeah,
like this
yeah.
way, come this way, Gail. Don't go, and
Dragging
it's,
back.
yeah, and I love it, like those
Yeah,
leaders, like we didn't even know, like, with Andrew, we have no idea the story behind, why
no,
he did what he did. And see, when you mentioned that he too didn't have the money
no,
at
it
the
didn't.
time, and
No.
and just hearing it from you, it just speaks so much about the commitment,
Mm.
the things that leaders go behind the scenes, and I love it that they never give up on people like you, people like me, and and look at where you're at, you're vice president, and
Yeah,
oh my gosh, in a matter
yeah.
of what, in that same year, right?
Yeah, and anybody can do it. You know,
Anybody,
yeah, it
yes.
was the same year really, because
Yeah,
although
yeah.
I'd started 2018, I did nothing with the business till 2019.
Wow,
I
yeah,
sat back and was doing other things. I'd pop in and have a
yeah,
quick look, you know, and but I never really engaged with it, you know.
yes, yes,
So anybody can do it. And I always think, if I can do it,
yeah,
anyone can. I've no
exactly,
different skills than anybody. And I had
yeah,
to learn some skills. And
yeah,
yes, was it uncomfortable at times? Yes, it
yes,
was, you know,
absolutely.
and sometimes it still is. But
Yeah.
you know, if you want to move on in life,
Hmm.
you have to push yourself a little bit.
Yeah, get out of your
Yeah,
comfort zone.
yeah, get out.
You got to give up on the daily habits that's not productive,
Yes,
enough to
correct.
help you get to the goal. If some people, they want to change their lives, but they're too
Yeah.
scared to come on and take on the challenge to really, really change.
Mm.
Wow, that's incredible. I love your journey. Wow, that's woof. It feels like I'm listening to a fairy tale. Like, just,
It has been a bit of a
yeah,
fairy tale, actually, because, you know, I never would have thought 2 years
yeah,
ago when, you
yeah.
know, my grandchildren were
Hmm.
saying to me, oh, I'd pick them up from school, and you know, they'd say to me, Nana, can we go and have once a week? Can we go and have a KFC? And I'd be cringing, thinking, don't ask me this week, because I knew I didn't have the money. And,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
and that, when you feel that, and it's so
Yes,
heartbreaking, and
yes.
you know, and they are my why, because, you know,
Yes,
people
yes,
talk about having a why. Why do you do what you do? Because
yes,
like I said, I don't, you know, I probably was at a point where I could have probably tried to retire. I'd have been very poor,
yes,
but I could
yeah,
have done that. But I wanted to leave something for my children
yes,
and my
mm,
grandchildren, and
yeah,
create that legacy. And, you know, and when they now ask me for a KFC, it's different. I can say,
yes,
of course,
of
only
course.
not all the time, because they
Yeah,
have to learn in the same
yes,
way that they can't have everything that they
that's
want.
right,
But
that's
it's
right.
nice that you can give it if you want to and they need
Yes,
something, you
absolutely.
know.
But at the same time, teaching them a lesson the same way that
Teaching.
you did when you were
Exactly.
growing up. You
Exactly.
know, it's so important because, you know, at times, you know, like kids, you growing up, they need to learn the value of things so that they
Yeah.
can humble themselves when it comes to their turn to, you know, when they go out and get married and have their own children, they need to also set the example
Yeah.
to their children. It's not nice to have a spoiled
No,
kid and have
no,
it their way because it'll never end well, you know,
no,
and
never
it'll
end
suffer,
well.
it'll make parents suffer if
It
they do
will. And you
that.
know, one of the things, the greatest gifts I feel that you can give to your children and your grandchildren, not only is the knowledge that you acquire throughout
Yeah.
life, if they're going to
Yes.
listen to it, but
Yeah.
also give them the gift of learning and
Learning.
education. You
Yes,
know, give them
absolutely.
that gift, because that's
Yeah.
the gift, the financial education,
Mm.
okay, will see them through life, and
Yeah,
they'll make the
absolutely.
right decisions. And I feel the biggest gift I've given my grandchildren and my son in recent last couple of years is
Mm.
by giving them a gift of an account, you know, of
Yes,
being a
yes.
part of what we've got in this business,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, I kind of lost my train of thought, but
That's all right.
no, I just got carried away with what you said, but I love it. I love that. You know, when you mentioned your story about being involved in different MLMs, because I too suffer losing a lot of money in different MLM, because, you know,
Mm,
people come to me and they offer me this and that. And, you know, because I grew up in the islands back in Samoa and then
yeah,
migrated to New Zealand. And that's where I opened my eyes to, oh my gosh, there's another way to earn money
yeah,
aside from waking up every morning and go to work. Hey, and so
yeah,
people come to me, my aunties, you know, offer me different, like, oh, okay, I'll just join. But you know, I have no experience at all in MLM, no idea. And guess
yeah,
what? You know, it backfired, lost money, lost the trust, you know, and
yeah,
just and then I see MLM in a different way where, oh my goodness, they're just out there to get people's money. It's like what you mentioned, you know, you're spending more money rather than people come up, rather than money coming in, right?
exactly,
And
exactly. And you
so
know, that's another thing, because what I loved about when, you know, when I really started to understand what we had, you
mm,
know, I thought, well, I don't have to do that. I don't have to have an authorship.
yes,
I don't, you know,
mm,
I
yeah,
choose what I want to spend. And I can honestly say, hand on heart, I have earned far more
yeah,
than I've given. Okay.
yeah,
Not only financially, but in the knowledge that I've gained as well, you
yes,
know, which will
absolutely,
help me and my family, you know. So sometimes we have to sort of sit back. Well, I have to sit back because, you know, you talked about when people are, you know, you were working online and you're talking to family and friends and
yeah.
nothing really works, and they'll go, and they were going 2 or 3 years ago, they'd go, so what is it you're doing now?
Yeah,
Did you make any money at that you were doing? And I'd go, and my husband would say, well, do you really think this, you know, should you not
yeah,
go out and get a job? You know, I go, whoa, not a job, you know, not because I'm lazy, because I was
yeah,
working
yeah,
hard doing what I'm doing, but,
yeah,
you know, not because of that, but because it, I thought to myself, I will find something, there will be something out there.
yes,
You do have to go through all the failures, all the negativity. But you see, the
yeah,
family and friends don't understand that.
yes,
And the
absolutely,
amount of times they'd go, they'd be laughing or send me a message, what's that you've put on your Facebook now? You know, and making fun of, and what a great feeling it is now that I can actually turn around and say, do you know what? Do you know that one you were laughing at a couple of years ago and saying it's a scam, it'll never
yes,
work, and
yeah,
it's not
mm,
real, you know?
mm,
And now I can turn around to them and say, well, that actually made me and not only made me, but made all the people who I
Mm.
shared it with millionaires.
Yeah.
There'll
Yeah.
be a lot of
Absolutely.
millionaires.
Yeah.
Not going to happen overnight. We know that,
Yeah.
but in the future, there will be
Yes.
so many
Oh,
millionaires
yeah.
made in this company. And
That's
there are
right.
already millionaires in this company,
Oh, absolutely. Oh, already. And
already.
that's one of the things about our I usually don't see it as an opportunity. It's a blessing.
Yeah,
Uh, but we have multiple income streams in this company.
yeah,
And you can come in different projects. It's an
yeah,
umbrella. It's kind of like a mall where you come in and do your shopping. So you can
yes,
go and shop wherever you want to go, whether you want to come in through the education, go through there. That's your
yeah,
way. That's your ticket into our,
exactly.
yeah, in our mall, or, in our ecosystem. So
Yeah,
it's beautiful what we have here. I've never been a part of something like this before.
yeah,
And
yeah,
all, before, uh, I was mostly solely focusing on selling products,
yeah,
like out there trying to sell products. But this is nothing compared to just selling those
yeah,
products. It's more than this is serious things right here.
yeah.
It's like we're
People hate being sold to.
yes,
People
yes,
do not like
exactly.
being sold to, and we do not sell. People
Yeah,
say, "What are you selling now?" I'm actually not selling anything. I'm actually showing you things that you can choose. What do
yes,
you want to do? Do you want do you want to be financially educated?
it
Do you want
absolutely.
to use something for your business to help you with your business?
Yeah.
We've got through you, Gail. Do you
Yeah,
want that legal advice because we're going to have the
exactly.
international legal
Yeah.
policy, or do you want to start investing? Do you want
Or
to get into
franchise
the financial
business.
world? Because there we've got something within our ecosystem, and there you go. Off you go to the UGPay group and have a
Yeah,
look what we've got there.
absolutely,
You
absolutely.
know,
And this
yeah.
morning, they just dropped another product launch, which is the NDA.
Oh,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh, that is amazing.
yeah,
The presentation this morning,
yeah.
blew my mind at where we are at. Look at all these different projects just dropping,
Just
and
dropping in
oh
now.
my gosh, it's so exciting. What we have.
Yeah. I
I
don't
always have
know.
goosebumps, when I talk about this, because,
Yeah.
and you know what? And when, when you mention about the millennials,
Yeah.
if you stumble on this, I tell you, once the millennials, uh, really understand what we're offering,
Yeah.
I tell you, in no time,
They will.
they're going to be crowded in here.
Yeah.
And,
This company is waiting, is just sat waiting for the younger generation to come into it,
yes,
and
absolutely.
to bring their ideas and bring
Yeah.
their, and to um really engage with this,
Yeah.
because you
Mm.
know we are a company that is well, we are when I say the company, and I say
Yeah.
this all the time, people say, "Oh, who's the directors? Who's the CEOs of this
Yeah.
company?" And I'll go,
Yeah.
"Well, I suppose we all are in a way. Yeah, we've got a
Yeah.
CEO in
Yeah.
Andrea Haratoff in
Yeah.
one company, and we've got other CEOs in other
Yeah.
companies, but we are the membership. We
Yeah.
are the company, really.
Yeah.
We drive
Exactly.
the company."
Yeah.
So I just can't
Absolutely.
wait. I'm so
Yeah. I
excited
know.
to
Yeah.
see younger people coming into
Yes.
this. I'm going to love
Absolutely.
it. Yeah,
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. We can continue on and on about this
I
because
know.
that's how crazy we are. But anyway, okay. So because we have so many projects in our Everage ecosystem, what is your favorite? I know I've been asking this in like with a lot of other leaders, and they share their own wisdom on it, but I want to know
Yeah,
where you're at with the projects. What's your personal favorite and why do you choose to have it
right.
your baby?
Probably my personal favorite is the Academy of a Private Investor. Okay,
Yeah.
because it does, and I wouldn't have said that if you'd have asked me that a couple of years ago. I
Yeah.
would not have said that. Okay,
Yeah.
but when I came into this business, and I looked at the Academy of the Private Investor, and I looked and I thought, financial education, I don't need that. I'm a financial advisor. I've done
Yes.
loads of
Yeah.
exams. I know all about it, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Actually, when I thought, well, go on, I'll have a little look, because
Mm.
really it's important if you're going to be showing somebody something,
Yeah,
they know
absolutely.
about it. So I
Yes.
started to go into it, and I thought, oh, this 8 rules of a private investor. I like the idea of the 8 rules of a private investor. In fact, I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
looking now because I always keep it with me. You probably can't
Oh,
see that.
yes,
I
yes,
have my
yes.
little, sorry, it's not coming up, but I have
Yeah,
my little
there. Yeah.
book, and it's always at my side, because that was the one thing that I really sort of thought, wow, you know, 8 rules of a private investor, I'm going to follow this, and that has made a difference. So
Yes.
I like the education. I think it's unique. It's worth every single penny that for any of the courses. I
Mm,
really do love what it brings, which is, you know, when I was a financial advisor, I was sort of advising other people what to do.
yeah.
And I love the fact that actually this is now for me. I'm
Yeah.
starting to become and think like a private investor, you
Mm.
know, and make money work for me
Yeah.
rather than me working for money. So
Yes.
probably the financial education, and I have to say it's probably in joint with um, the UGPay group.
Mm.
Okay,
Right.
where our or where the should I say the global portfolio
Yes.
sits. I love the idea that anybody can be a part of it. You
Mm.
know, it's not going to cost thousands of pounds if you don't want it to be involved in it. And I
Mm.
just love that idea that, you know, now normal everyday people like
Mm.
me, like you, can be
Yes.
involved in something like this. So
Yeah,
those are probably the two.
absolutely. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Oh, I know at this our Academy of Private Investor, I think this is one of the things why I also joined, because I
Yeah.
love the education and I was hungry for it, because after losing a lot of money
Yeah.
before, I was like, oh, I really need to learn
Yeah.
how to really make this work. And so,
Yeah.
and not only that, but the how they give you access to the global portfolio is through our Academy of a Private Investor back then, right? Now they have no more
Exactly.
proofs. But that
Yeah.
was one concept that said, wow, this is really, really interesting.
Mm.
Purchasing an education, and with it, it gives you rewards of crew points. And look
Yeah.
at, and some people back then, they don't really like, oh, crew points. They casually think that, oh, it's nothing. But
Mm.
look at where crew points are at right now, how
Yeah.
valuable the crew is right now. And
Yeah.
I love it that, it gives you access to the co-ownership part. And I
Yeah.
tell you, if you purchase any educational financial course online or
Yeah.
offline, I tell you, you will not only is it expensive for you to purchase that,
Yeah.
but there is no return of
No.
that course. You don't have access to a co-ownership, to a portfolio of assets from that education. And that's
That's
one
it.
thing I love about what we offer from the
Yeah.
beginning, is that through this course, it really gives you the opportunity to become co-owner. And look at where we are. That's why we became co-owners of this global
Exactly.
portfolio, because of
Yeah.
this education. So, so I love it. I love it. Me too. That is my personal favorite as well. And I
Yeah.
think it's so important for people out there that, regardless of whatever projects that you come through, your education, your financial is so important, because no matter what, however, whatever projects you're in, you need to know how to work your money, how to make your money work hard for you, and how
Yeah.
to really, really know the knowledge um, on how to put it, so that to avoid risk, to avoid, because anything is risky, right?
Yeah.
Anything. But if you go into it with calculated risk, you know what you're doing, then you should be
Exactly.
fine.
Yeah.
So love it, love that.
Yeah.
Joe, I got someone on Joe Bruno. He's also on our
Yeah.
local leader council. He said, thanks for sharing your life experience, Gail. Great wisdom and inspiration. And Walter, I don't know if you know Walter Bacalani. He's also one of the top students in our MLC marathon, saying hello.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Hello to everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure. An absolute pleasure to be
Oh,
on with
thank
you,
you.
Nelly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's finish off. One last question before you go. What would be a word of wisdom or a challenge that you want to leave with people in our community, and people who are watching us, people who are still on the fence, sitting, thinking whether to join or not? What would be some challenge or words of encouragement for you? for
Yeah.
them right now.
I think the most important thing with anything is obviously do your own due diligence, but do it properly.
Mm,
Okay.
mm.
When I say that, I don't mean go Googling everything and
Yes.
finding scam
You end
websites
up
out
confusing
there.
yourself.
Yeah, I mean proper due diligence, so
Yeah,
do your
proper.
due diligence. And I say to people, and I was talking to a group of people the other day, and I said to them, are we perfect? No.
Nope.
Nope, we're not. Will we be perfect?
It's a work
Probably
in
never,
progress.
because we're so diverse.
Yes.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were chatting, and she said, I love this. She said, every day we wake up and there's something different and something else to do, and I said, well, do you know what? If nothing else, this business is so exciting.
Yes.
It's challenging, it's
Yeah.
exciting. But
Mm.
but do you know what? We don't have to be perfect
Oh
either.
yeah,
None of us need to be
absolutely.
perfect. So why
Yeah.
would we want everything else to be perfect?
Yeah.
You know, um, and just do it. There is a
Mm.
saying, isn't there? I mean, Richard Branson, I think he wrote a book, Just Do It.
Yes, do it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Love that
And
book.
the thing is, that is the thing. Sometimes you have to, if you know the stories of the people who have been in this business, the person who's sharing it with you, and
Mm.
if you know, like, and trust them, just jump into it. You don't have to spend a fortune. You can even register for free. You don't
Yes.
even have to spend a penny. You can
Yeah.
come in, you can have a look, you can see if it's all going to be a fit for you, you know. And once you're in, then you can start learning about it gradually.
Yes.
So, another little thing as well, most people want to know, they have to have a reason why they're doing something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I found that finding your why,
Mm.
finding the reality of why is it you want to do what you do, why are you doing it. I knew my why. I didn't know it at first. I remember somebody saying, what's your why and what's your dreams? And I'm thinking, I don't know, go to bed at night and dream, do a vision board, which I'm now
Yeah.
looking at. Never thought I'd have a vision board. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
look at a vision board, a dream board, but I look at it because the reason I look at it, and it always gets me emotionally when I look at it, because there's a big picture there of my grandchildren.
Yeah.
They are my why. So
Yes.
whatever happens, whatever bumps in the road,
Mm.
right? However, something's not working right, or I've not done something, whatever little bumps there are, my why is bigger than that.
Yes.
So once you realize what your why is, once you realize what you're doing it, why am I going to do this business,
Mm.
right? Then you can move on. And like I said, just come in and then learn about it after.
Exactly. I
Yeah,
love it that it's like defining your purpose,
yeah,
which is the holy grail of everything is, and that is
yeah.
your why.
It's my why,
I
yeah.
know if I know that the why is so important because you need to have something to inspire you every day when you wake up. And through Marathon to 60, learning about that vision board, you need to see
Yeah,
it every day. It helps you. Sometimes we want to give up on what we're
yeah,
doing, or we hit a rock bottom, or we hit a block on the road.
yeah,
But when you reflect back on the reason why you're doing what you're doing and for
yeah,
who, that would be a boost of energy,
yeah,
to really get you back out. Okay, I got to do this. So
yeah.
I love your words of wisdom. And I know everybody out there, especially not only to our people that are listening who are not members, but to
Yeah,
our partners. There's a lot of partners and leaders in our community that are struggling every day to,
yeah,
but take
yeah,
the time to revisit, like what Gail said, revisit your why and
yeah,
know, and you got to have your why to
yeah,
solidly tell you and remind you every day that,
yeah,
you need to you need not to fail, but to continue, press forward
yeah,
every day so that you can achieve what you're meant to be. And thank you so much, Gail, for the
You're
opportunity
welcome.
to share your story, share your wisdom. I really enjoyed our conversation. I love your
Good.
journey.
I've
It
loved it
feels
too.
like,
It's been lovely.
yeah, I just love it. It feels like I'm, it's wow. It's like I already know, everything, most everything about you right now. So for those people watching, thank you for tuning in on Facebook. Thank you, partners. But join us again on Monday. We have another leader that's going to come on. But as for the meantime, Gail, thank you for your time, and I
And
really
thank you so
appreciate
much.
you. And yeah, oh yeah, we have so many people. Yeah, big Y. Yes, exactly. But as for now, have a blessed weekend ahead.
Yeah.
I know New Zealand is having their ball very soon to celebrate crypto launch. So that's amazing. And yeah, and just continue to do whatever you can to share our vision, our mission to the entire world, because you never know who might need this opportunity, who might need this blessing. If we
Yeah.
don't open our mouth, if we don't, take out that fear in us and just share it. Whatever.
Exactly.
If you get rejected, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Timing. It's, some people, it's all about timing, but
Yeah.
continue to share this amazing, incredible opportunity, because everybody needs to be in it and they need a chance to hear it. Don't be selfish. Don't be greedy, but share it. Okay.
Yeah. And if you don't share it, somebody else will.
Somebody else will. Exactly. You nailed it. But as for the meantime, thank you, Gail. We'll see you again. I'll chat with you later on. But as for
All right.
now,
Thank
thank you
you.
everybody for watching. Tune in again on Monday for our next episode. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
Bye. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.